golden light on the hills of Wales.
Welcome back, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with Annie. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Great on our Connecting Solutions video and interview, and it's a great pleasure to welcome today Nic Mayo. How are you, Nic?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
All good, all good. So what we just like, first of all, as an introduction, is just give people a brief overview of who you are and to describe the festival that you're organising and where people can find out more information.
Yeah, we're the Weekend Truth Festival. We're in our third year. We have changed venues. It's on the 17th to the 19th of July this year, and it's being held in a place called Chirk. You can get me on www.weekendtruthfestival.co.uk, and if you want to email me, I answer virtually all my emails myself, so it's admin@weekendtruthfestival.co.uk.
Brilliant. And also you're planning as well to hold one in 2027 as well, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. And,
yeah.
And can people buy the tickets now to come to the festival?
Yeah, they're on discount at the moment. I think they're discounted till the end of March. So for the full weekend, including, however you want to camp or use your motorhome, it doesn't matter. The price is exactly the same, $79 and $30 for children.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And I'm definitely going to be there, and Annie and all of our team are going to be there supporting you.
Yeah, thank you. You're amazing.
Mm-hmm. So, Nic, I just really would like to ask you about you. And who is Nic? We all know you run the Weekend Truth Festival, but who is Nic?
Who is Nic? Well, I'm just I've always been, I suppose.
What's your background?
So my background is doing various different things, but I've fostered for nearly 20 years. I foster teenagers. I personally have had really good experiences of the care system, so I'm very lucky in that respect. I've fostered really difficult teenagers that perhaps other people might struggle to foster or not. It's not necessarily the kids, it's just sometimes it can be a little bit too much. And I used to sort of take those types of children on, and it was kind of who I was for quite a long time, but I took time out because I think it's happened a couple of times where I've sort of burnt myself out to a point where I thought, well, I absolutely love my job, but if I continue in this vein, then I'm going to burn out. So I've kind of hit a brick wall twice, and to be fair, they've let me have that time out to sort of recalibrate myself, which is what I've done. And I've gone back into it, and I have amazing teenagers that I look after, and that's probably not even me, is it really? That's my job, but that's my sort of real job.
Your real job day to day. And what about you don't seem to make life easy for yourself, Nic? Looking at it, it's not an easy task running a Weekend Truth Festival and doing fostering as well. So is there anything that you do for yourself?
I think I'm in a unique position at the moment. It hasn't always been this way, but I think for myself, I enjoy my job. Like, I really enjoy it at the moment. It's the best thing. And I can kind of manage both quite easily. Found it difficult recently. I've just done a first aid course, and I actually had to revise for that. So I found that a bit trying because my brain just doesn't want to learn about first aid. Anyway, I've done it. I've done the online version and the real-time version. And that's been completed now. But other than that, for me, I don't know. I go to the roundabout with rebels. I go to parties. I've got loads of friends in the freedom community. And sadly, actually, I've lost really my friends from before. So I think I've gone through a real transition period where I had a great life. I had great friends, and I didn't really think too much about it. And then obviously when COVID hit, that all changed, and now I have a whole different set of friends. Well, that's fine. I still know my other friends, and I was very lucky that a lot of them were aware of what was going on. So I've maintained them relationships.
Great. I think that's that can be said for quite a few people, can't it? You know, that our networks and our people we're surrounded by now are probably very different to they were in the past. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even my mum and dad now, they're talking about how people are so poorly around them. My dad was vaccine injured. At first he was complete denial, didn't want to know, and now they're both in the same room. They don't want to know because they're older, and they say, we're just not interested now. We'll be dead. Which I don't like them saying that, but that's what they say. And yeah, it's definitely been a learning journey.
Yeah, because it's the same. I had a good social life before, and I was a scout leader for like 10 years, knew loads of people, and had friends from school. And there's hardly any overlap between the people I used to know and the people I know now, but I suppose as well, it would be good to heal those bonds, right? Because what we're up against is all about division. So it's interesting. But I just wanted to ask you to follow up on Annie's, Nic, is just give us a little. First of all, I have to congratulate you on hosting the Weekend Truth Festival, and I've been very honored to be there every year, and I'm happy to be here again in 2026 and 2027. So thank you.
Thank you.
So just in a positive way, how did you come about launching the festival? And it's an amazing festival, and I love it, and we all really enjoy it. And thank you for all the work. But just to follow on from Annie, how did you then come up with it, and what's the journey been like?
I had nowhere to go in sort of 2020, and the shortish answer is I went to an Acapulco in Mexico, and I'd already spent nearly 2 years going to the Buxton Freedom Hub and just giving up my time on a Tuesday. I'd drive down, it took me about an hour to get there and 45 minutes to get back. But I went there and I was doing handing out the cards, doing whatever I needed to do really to make it work. And Kev was there, and Kev was brilliant. He was the glue that sort of glued it all together. And I went to an Acapulco, and I just remember it was boiling hot. And I remember standing at the end of all these seats and this stage, and I just thought, this is what I'm going to do. And then I thought, well, I can't do that because I've never done a festival before, and I've never been to a festival. And now I'm going to do a festival. That's going to be interesting. So I came back, and it's whirring around my mind. And I thought, I'm going to ask someone. So I was going to ask the guy that ran Carry On Camping. Not many people know this. And I went to Carry On Camping 3 times in the same year to find out how to do a festival because I've never been to one. So I thought, well, I need like a crash course. So I went the first time with this girl called Nikki, and I was going to ask this guy, and then I decided not to. It just didn't feel right for some reason. I wasn't sure. So Nick said, well, why don't you just ask Kev? I was like, okay. So I'll ask Kev. So I went back, and kind of the rest is history. We just got together for a year, and honestly, we didn't have a clue. We just worked 3 and 4 days a week for nearly a year. And then, of course, Kev couldn't do it in the second year, which was massively disappointing because, I understood his perspective, and I was quite happy to do it on my own, but I don't think I understood the amount of work that the other person does that you don't see. And
yes, and of course we should all remember, Kevin, all the amazing work and how kind
absolutely.
He was and support, and all the work he did in Buxton. That was a real centre. And fair play to you for last year as well. It was amazing in 2025. You did an amazing job, didn't she, Annie?
She did. She absolutely did. And it was the first one I've ever attended, and I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a really good mix of people there. It was very different, and it maybe wasn't more like a festival for me. It was kind of more like a conference in a field, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and that's important actually to mention that, because the festival, it is a festival, but it's just a different kind of festival. It's not, I think when you think of festivals, you think of hats like this, everyone going out and having a party, and that's great, that's in its place. But we're like you say, we're more like a conference, so it is serious. We are looking and focused on solutions, and it's more important now than ever to be thinking like that and drawing the people together to make that happen. Because, singularly, we don't change particularly anything except ourselves and our immediate world. But together, we are really powerful. I mean, we're powerful singular, but we are really powerful together. And that's why, it's not a festival, it's a conference festival.
Yeah.
And we were going to maybe ask you about this year's festival and the progression that it's made and the theme.
Okay, so this year, the bowler hat farmer, Mark Byford, we bumped into each other and we decided that I was thinking about doing pop-ups, because my friend Andrew, who helps put the marquee up, is the doer of that, as you would say. He sort of like, he wanted to do this thing where we'd pop these festivals up, and I just think it's like really hard work, because just to even get the festival up itself and get everything in place is really difficult. So I mentioned it to Mark at this place in Milton Keynes, and he went, "Oh, I've had like loads of people contacting me. Why don't we do it together?" And that's how that came about. So now we're going to have like a subsection of the festival. So there'll be the marquee, and to the right, to the left of it is like another field. So we're going to have people coming along who can teach people grassroots how to grow things, hands-on, not a YouTube channel, right there. So, I mean, I'll learn something from it, I hope. That's why I plan to be present this time, because I want to, get around and say hello to people and not hide, but being busy. But, so we've got him, and Harry Rhodes is back. Harry does quite a lot of different talks, so he's choosing another talk. He's yet to tell me what he's going to talk about, and I think probably what he'll do is wait to see what other people are doing, knowing Harry, and he'll play to that sort of strength, I would have thought. And who else have we got? So we've got this year, actually, we've got Jack McLean. Now he's a younger boy. He's he's a younger man. And he's more like he does his stills. He talks about all what's going on. What do you call it? He's a podcaster, I guess. And he does a lot on Facebook and wherever else. And he has quite a younger audience. So I'm hoping by having Jack on and him telling his story that the solution would be to perhaps pull some of those people into our world, so that we are connecting on different levels, because I think that there's a disparity between the two that I find quite frustrating, I have to say, and certainly with the younger children. Yeah, so we've got Robin Hood from the Realm of England, and he's come on absolutely leaps and bounds. He has his paperwork is, for someone who's never read it, it's unreadable, because you would never sort of. I can't even explain it. There's so many things in it that you would never have thought that would ever pass your lips in our normal conversations. But what he's done is he's worked out how they've done it to us. He's worked out their policies. He's worked out their legislation. He's worked out who we are just in REM, who we are in standing, and all the rest of it. And he sees connections where I don't think I've come across anyone that sees these connections to make a solution.
And just to say, we were talking to someone this morning that was also wanted to congratulate the Realm of England and also Callie, and he told us this morning that he wants to make all his information freely available everywhere. So hopefully we'll put a link underneath when this is uploaded on social media to his documentation, Nic, because he wants to make it freely available, which we're happy to do.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic, and we've never met anyone like him. Genuinely haven't. And Carly, Carly Spell's working with him. She's doing her own like little sort of, I don't know what you call them, things, look like little mini podcasts on Facebook and stuff like that. But she is nailing it.
They're called Facebook Lives. Facebook Live, it's called.
That's it, Facebook Lives.
So they do the Facebook Lives, yeah.
Yeah, and she's nailing it because she's explaining it in complete layman's terms. So she's making what sounds like or looks like gobbledygook into how she's just amazing at putting it forward. I think she's hit the ground running.
Yes, I think of it. And I was thinking back to your statement before about young people and how to engage them. But I think, prior to sort of the death of Charlie Kirk has made a huge impact in young people. And I've been following Charlie Kirk since he was 18. And so, I know him. I know him. And I know people who know him, obviously he's no longer with us. But I feel that there's been, trying to say, since September, since that incident, there's been a big move with young people wanting to know more and asking questions and getting involved and getting engaged. And I think that we perhaps, I think the door is opening, for younger people. And it would be great to see, I want to plug it, it would be great to see some young people at this festival. It's not a kind of festival you think, of a festival. It's not a Glastonbury type thing, but it's a unique opportunity for people who, want to know more and get some solutions for issues that are going on in their lives to be able to connect with each other. And so my question now really is around, each festival that you've run has had a theme, hasn't it? And and every one of those themes has been different. And it would be useful for you to maybe, if you could summarise the themes of each of the festivals and what it was about and the major lessons learned, to inform this year's festival, because this year's festival's in a different location. It's going to be very different. There's different speakers. It's not the same old. And I also wanted to make very well known to people out there that these festivals are not the same year on year out. They are very, very different. And you won't hear the same regurgitation that you hear in other, places where the same people speak about the same things. It's all fresh, it's all real, it's all new. And so I just would kind of like you to expand a wee bit on that, if you don't mind, Nic.
Yeah, sure. So the first one we did was our sort of, it's almost like a trial run. We knew what we wanted. We knew the speakers that we wanted pretty much straight away because obviously we'd been in Buxton. So we had a really good idea of the speakers that we wanted, and we kind of had an idea where we were going. It was always going to be about solutions, but I can't actually remember if solutions were actually on the flyer, the first one. So we kind of went with that and really off the seat of our pants, and it worked, and it was amazing. And then the second one was about what I didn't want. The second one was I didn't want people just telling stories, even though I love to hear people's stories, don't get me wrong, but I think we're running out of time. So solutions was the next one, but it was bigger, bolder, better. I used the 3 Bs like they used the 3, things on the TV, in a bit of a mock to them, really, I suppose, the powers that aren't be, or hopefully won't be. It was a real another learning curve. I've kind of had 2 festivals where have been amazing, but I've learned so much about myself. I've learned my weakness. I've learned my strengths. I'm learning. Every day is a learning day, and it's not a cliche. It's an actual fact. And the third one is like a brand new venue. I walked onto we were going to see a few different sites with my friend Andrew, who puts the marquees up. And I have a friend called Andy who's actually coming to the festival to speak. And I was saying to him, I'm going to go and look at these sites. I'll let you know how it is. And when I came back, it was the minute I walked on that second field where we're at in Chirk, before I saw the sheep, I stood on the field and I went, well, this is it. And he said, well, no, we've still got another one to look at. This was Andrew. So I said, well, I don't think it really matters. I said, because this is it. So I said, but I need to meet the farmer, because that's going to obviously seal the deal. And I met the farmer. The first time I met his wife, didn't meet his wife or his partner. And he's a doer. It just reminds me of Dolores in my head. He's a doer. He's a doer. And he said to me, he said, oh, I can have a team of people helping to put things up in 10 minutes. In fact, I think he said a small army. He's perfect. And then I met his family and his partner. And it was, it's an absolute no-brainer. But getting back to Andy, I just want to mention Andy, because this is going to be his first time speaking. And he's Andy WTF Up. I'm not going to say it. And what he's doing is he's trying to get a load of information together so that we can, so he can then present it to people that are just waking up to what's going on, who are awakening. And it can, rather than going down, slidey rabbit holes and ending up in warrens, you can get your hands on it there and then, and that will go through all age groups, which is amazing.
No, that's wonderful, Nic. And just to say, the theme for this year 2026 is sovereignty as well, isn't it?
Sovereignty,
yeah.
Sorry, I digressed. But it's sovereignty all the way.
No, that's wonderful. And I think if it's, I'm delighted to give a talk. Mine, I think, is going to be sovereignty step by step, because I think sometimes it's overwhelming if you want to learn how to grow food when you've never done it before, or you want to detox. So in the group that we have here as well, which is also solution focused, we're going to try and make it that people can take little steps, I think. Like what you're doing, even coming to the festival is also one step, because I think it builds community for people so they don't feel on their own. And just to compliment you as well, on each of the years you've had 400 or 500 people. The tickets have been limited, but they're like 400 or 500 people have come to the festivals. Isn't that right? Which is amazing.
Yeah. In fact, I've just had an email today, Dolores, about you. A lady called Steph emailed me. And she said, oh, my mum really wants to come to the festival, but can you tell me what day Dolores is speaking? She's 90.
Oh, my God.
Right. And I emailed her and said, please let me know her name, and I'll, and maybe if she comes, you can meet Dolores. And she was like, oh, that's amazing. But she's not got back to me with a name. So actually, I only know Steph's name, but I had to tell you that before I forgot. So, yeah.
I'm delighted. No, I'd be honored. What an honor. But just to say, I think sovereignty is really, it's very empowering, because, I think everybody, and I was very sad about Charlie Kirk, I think he left a resonance really, and I think he's actually, obviously it's a tragedy, but I think people are shocked with how it's been handled, and the whole Epstein handling, that in a way what we're trying to do is people who really want to make a change on many levels. And exactly as you say, we can only really do it together. Isn't that right? That we can't really, like you say, each of us on our own can do things. But if we can build momentum, including your festival, to get small groups of people to collaborate together would be. So if you just want to, maybe in closing, unless anyone wants to say, last question, give us more the details again of how to get the tickets. Do you want to say anything, Annie, at the end?
No, I think we're fine. I just how to get the tickets, and where the festival's going to be this year would be a good thing. Just tell us where it's going to be, because it's going to be in a different location to before, and how they can get in touch with you and how they can book. Right.
So I'm just getting up the postcode. So this year we've moved to Chirk. It's Chirk Airfield, actually. So it actually holds the most amazing car boot sale for about 4,000 people on a Sunday. Anyhow, we're not on that part. We're on the other part, and he's got different fields. And that's the 17th to the 19th of July. And the actual, it's in Wrexham, and the actual postcode is LL14 5AY. It's really important that, because a lot of people last year did get lost. However, this year it's so easy to find, thank God. So it should take up, and interestingly, it's right near where Karl is as well. So I'm quite happy about that. And Richard Vobes is coming as well.
Great.
Wonderful.
And that he's amazing. Just for the people who've never been before, could you perhaps maybe describe to us kind of what happens, what the layout is, and what to expect? Because if you've never been to anything like this before, you might think you're camping in a field, or you might go to a hotel, or camper van, whatever. So could you just describe it to us?
Yeah, sure. People do go to hotels and they get, the weekend ticket, and they might, they might want to stay in a hotel. People do that. It's rare, but yeah, you can camp. There's different fields. So where the actual main event is one field. Well, kind of two, but it's sectioned off. But you can see the whole field together, and the other fields are separate. So if you want to, we have sort of noted for a quiet field this year, because although we turn the music off at 11 o'clock, because there is music, we've got some fabulous DJs, we are going to play for more the older type of age group, and if there's younger ones there, then we can adapt to them as well. So the land itself is just sectioned, as opposed to last year. For the people that have been, it was like a wide expanse. This will be more tightly knit. There's loads of room, but it'll be tightly knit by comparison, because it's in sectioned fields, which is it'll be amazing. Really.
Yeah. So in essence, people bring their camper van, their caravan, or they can be their tent, or they can hire a tent. Maybe explain that bit, and the facilities on site. And for people like my age, I'm not interested in DJs and music. So much, but throughout the day it's mainly talks and practical. There's some practical application this year, isn't there? So maybe you could expand on that.
Yeah, so we usually, well, not usually, but between 9 and 10 o'clock the festival will begin. We start with speakers, and maybe they'll be on for perhaps an hour. Then we have a break. Then we have another speaker, and that kind of happens usually up till about 5 or 6 o'clock at night. With an hour's break. We're planning to have more breaks this year, so there'll be more time for other people. And we have got David Adelman as well, who's also emceeing with Dolores, and will be speaking as well, which will give Dolores a bit of a break. People can mill around. They can, there'll be stalls. I'm getting stuff from people with stalls now, so that's coming in thick and fast. So there's an emphasis on stalls this year as well. There's quite a few speakers that want their own stalls, which is absolutely brilliant. And there'll be stuff for kids to do. We're trying to work out, we're doing a treasure hunt for kids at the moment, and we're going to expand on that. But this year I'm going to do different flyers, so that there'll be a flyer for speakers, a flyer for people wanting to come in with stalls, and it'll explain a lot more about what's going on, just so that the people that come will be able to understand. And if they go on the website at weekendtruthfestival.co.uk, so that's www.weekendtruthfestival.co.uk, then they'll be able to see the speakers and have a read up on how that is and stuff like that. So,
and then just to say as well, you have this huge marquee that easily fits 400 or 500 people with the stage. And that's where all the talks are in that marquee. And that's completely full marquee. So it's nice and warm and everything. And there's seats for everyone. So it can fit hundreds of people. Yeah,
absolutely. And we are looking for helpers and doers at the moment to join the team.
Brilliant. And we're going to come over early and stay late as well, and volunteer to help put the conference up. And all of us are delighted to support you. And there's more people, as you know, from Ireland coming over as well. Yeah. Brilliant. So I think that's more or less, is that everything you wanted to say? And it's July again. Say the dates and the webpage and the zip code for everybody who's listening.
Okay, so it's in Wrexham, which is LL145AY, and it's in Chirk. That's Chirk, Airfield, Wrexham. It's the 17th to the 19th of July, and you can actually come on the Thursday. So if you want to come and set yourself up ready for the morning on the Thursday, that's fine. And it's special tickets at the moment, £79. for adults.
For the whole
3 days.
Brilliant. No, that's wonderful. Great. So thank you so much, Nic, from me for all you do, and the same from Annie, right? It's an honour, and we're really looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you in July.
See you July 2026 in Wrexham. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye from us all for now.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.